the whole town is just in panic mode right now.
I would like to try and find one of the leaders, like the Eerie, Bodge, or the other bird. Can I find them?
I think it would be quite easy to find Falono, but Bodge.
Okay.
Bodge
so
bolted.
That's good. Falono's quite I just go up to him and I'm just like, why isn't the tower fighting for the people? Why aren't they on our side? If we had that tower, we could defend ourselves. Why are the people inside the tower going for either side?
So the sort of Falono is underneath a desk right now that's been he's not prepared for battle. He's a merchant, to be fair. This is not what he's supposed to be for. And he's sort of quivering, and he's like, the tower, yes, the tower.
Falono, have you got people in that tower we could get on side to start fighting?
There's the passages. There's passages. We could use the passages to get into the fort, but the doors they're locked. I don't know how to.
All right. I know my way around the lock. Let's go.
Okay, so he sort of fills you. There's two major buildings on either side of the town. There's the keep, the tavern. Sorry, where you found the original sort of Marquis de Cat smuggling den. But then on the other side, there's a sort of town hall where it's most of the sort of judgment and things like that, or major market sessions will happen around there. And he starts sort of flitting you over there. Have you guys split up then?
Yeah,
I'm with you too.
Yeah.
Seeing the efforts of the town and that they're actually getting some of their stuff together and they're actually fighting back. Benel's standing outside the tree where all their siblings are running past, and then when the last one finally comes and goes, they look to Mama and they say, "Mama, I've got to stay.
Oh, God damn it!
I've got to. I can do this."
How old are your siblings?
They're much younger than Fennel. They're
Okay.
all.
They're not able to defend themselves.
No,
Okay.
Fennel's the oldest.
Okay.
Their siblings are all younger than them.
So Mama is but Fennel, you have to come with us.
Mama, you're their only hope. You've got to look after them. I'll be all right. I promise. I'll meet you at the meeting place.
She embraces you. And she
Yeah.
Fennel, you find me as soon as you can. I'm going to where your father works. We will meet again.
Yeah.
And she starts sort of come on everyone, and rounds them all up and starts finding some kind of passageway out of the commotion.
Yeah.
Luckily you were quick, which
Yeah.
means that they've got a bit of a sort of head start when it comes to getting away from this. But every moment that you stay here, you're getting surrounded by forces.
Can I read a tense situation, which is this whole thing?
Yes.
Which is cunning, which I have 0 in.
That was a 6. That was a 6. That was absolutely a 6.
Okay.
On that die.
The
It
GM
was
says
so
so.
that. Yeah, it's fine.
So that was a 10. So I can ask 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's my best way out in through?
Your best way out is to bolt to the south or the north as fast as you physically can. You are running out of time with every second that you spend here.
What's the biggest threat, and what should I be on the lookout for?
The biggest threat is obviously the
Just
2 marching armies.
Right, yes.
Were those 2 separate questions, sorry?
They were kind of bundled into one because I figured it was kind of the same thing.
Okay, so, the biggest threat to your actual existence right now, and to the rest of the townsfolk, is when these armies come up against each other, if you're not dressed in orange or blue, they're going to be cutting you down. So there is too much commotion right here for them to be picking targets and saying, "Oh no, that's just an innocent bystander." As far as the third question, which was,
I think it was just what should I be on the lookout for? But I assume it's kind of the same.
you can change that around if you want, or
To be honest, I don't need to ask any more. Can I, if I mobilise you both and some of the other folks escaping, what I'd like to do is, if we can escape to the north or south, pick one at random. I want to create kind of a valley with the thatch from the roofs and line it along and set fire to it to basically create a wall of flame to at least give us some time to funnel out.
Behind you.
Or either side, so that there's a passageway from anyone that might arrive. And
so you
also
want to make a sort of passageway of fire.
Exactly,
Okay.
and the heat will hopefully keep the birds off as well.
That would take a very long time to construct.
That's why I'm trying to mobilise. I don't know how many folks are trying to escape.
I guess I'm with like the area, but sort of like seeing you kind of like looking at the kind of thatch and stuff and seeing that you're actually interested in saving the people of the town. Because I felt sort of disappointed that we all basically just came in, screwed it up, and then left them all to die. Like, so it's interesting that like Moonshine is the only one with this sort of thought, but like seeing kind of what you're kind of thinking, I will offer to help and gather people to mobilise you to help get the people out. If that seems like the best option, to actually just leave the town, but at least we get people out and they don't all just die.
Philono notices you hesitate, and is about to walk off without you, and he's like, "What, are you coming?"
I think, we got two options here, Philono. We either convince the tower or we just get everyone out. These are your people. What do you want? What do you think is the best? We got away. Our beaver, he knows fire. He knows how to control it. He knows how to manipulate it. He can use the fire to fend off the armies. But these are your people. What do you think is the best? What's going to keep them alive?
Philono hesitates for a moment, and you can see that he's clearing his head. He's like, right, we need to act.
Yeah.
Because despite him being a pompous snob, he does really care about the people who live there. He looks around and he says, "You're right, there's two options. The people in the tower, who have not cared for us for any reason up until now, if they're not going to let us in, we could make them. The tower might keep us safe. If we leave, your fire trap might work, but where do we go then?"
I couldn't answer that. All that matters right now is that we get people out. Maybe you move to another clearing. It's more peaceful. You haven't got that tower that's like some kind of some kind of scar on your back, just calling out to everyone to come in and invade and take your stuff.
We're one of the only clearings around here that are actually neutral. We'll have to side, and you know what happens to the people of this town when they have to pick a side. I'm worried we'll get lost to the wastes.
Fenor runs up to this exchange, seeing you talking to Philono, and turns to you and says, "Exactly how potent is your moonshine?"
I mean, I would extend to say it's the most potent in the land. So it's very seriously, real pride.
Does half of it evaporate when you open the thing?
Yeah.
It just goes straight up.
Your eyes just...
Yeah. I like to think that you inhale it through the eyes first.
They say to you, "If you were to, say, lend me some, I might be able to make something to at least keep the armies occupied. So whatever you decide to do, stay here and fight or evacuate. Maybe I can buy us some time."
All right, well, the Tinker's given us a third option, which is that we use the fire to kill the armies.
Well, I wouldn't say it'd be capable of killing all the armies, but at least...
If it ain't killing them, I don't know what it's doing.
It's at least keeping them distracted.
Yes, with death.
So, do you agree to help, or?
I mean, it's down to what he wants for his people. Like, I'm up for any of the options. It's down to what is best for kind of the town.
Philono is kind of stuck on the fence. He needs pushing either way.
I'm going to roll to persuade from there.
What are you persuading?
Persuade to do the fire. My idea. Fire Valley
is if there's before you do that. If anyone objects to this and wants a different path, then you can try and roll off. But
I might. Because the thing is, Fenor isn't against this idea. Fenor just wants to do both. Like if you were to work. If Teef was to work on like a beacon getting people out, then Fenor just wants to work on something to keep the armies distracted away from where the refugees are like running.
Plan 4. We use the fire. We use the fire to get everyone out. Fenor uses the fire to keep the soldiers out. You come back in, hopefully, to what's left of the town and less of an army to deal with.
Philono's like, wait, hold on. So
essentially, we all work together.
Right, let's do it.
All right. Well, it's not something we've ever tried before, but we can certainly try today.
Yeah, so Fennel grabs the moonshine and runs to their workshop and starts trying to construct like a trebuchet.
Okay.
I offer you all the Molotov cocktails from my jacket and just passing them out.
Yeah, Fennel like adjusts their glasses and like gets to work in their workshop trying to make this trebuchet to like.
Okay, this needs to be done quick.
Yeah.
Which means it's gonna need like a proper roll for it. So what sort of playbook move are you using? Are you trying to construct something?
So I essentially the workshop is one of my moves.
Got it.
So like. You can basically decide the conditions I need to overcome in order to build what I want. So there can be things like time taken, materials needed, help needed, or any limitations. So if I can accomplish those conditions, then I can build.
What I'm going to say is, you're going to need like 3 like arbitrary units of time to make this thing work. The more time you can spend on this,
the better
the more effective it will be. But for you to be able to work on this, you need to be kept safe.
Yeah.
And as the armies are marching into the city, you need protecting.
Okay.
So it's going to be up to the rest of the party to try and fend them off.
You owe
If
me.
that's the plan.
Hornhusk, you
Bye.
owe me.
I'm going to be helping Teeth in terms of gathering people together so that we can move them. Because it's quite important we get people out, and I think Teeth doing it by themselves is a bit much because it's hordes of people and they got to concentrate on like blowing stuff up basically.
I'll protect Fennel.
You're a mate.
What?
You're a mate.
I am your mate. Yup. Let's do it. But this wipes the slate clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. We are done. This is the end.
We're even then.
Okay, cool. Good.
So,
I'll protect Fennel.
you're sort of like, you're outside the treehouse where the workshop
Yeah.
is. And you're sort of like, what weapons are you sort of equipping yourself with?
I'm going to equip with my longbow first to pick off people as they come from a distance, then I'll switch to the longsword.
Okay, so around you can see like some of the actual denizens of this town have like put up makeshift battlements and stuff. A lot of them are just sort of like cowering behind them. They don't know what to do. One of them is just sort of like staring at a sword like, do I want to do this?
Yeah, so your workshop is in the house, right?
In the tree?
No, it's in a tree.
In a tree.
Like,
Okay.
In the town.
I'd like to come with you to your workshop, and I'm going to stand like outside of the tree so I can fire down with my longbow.
Yeah.
And then when things get hairy, I'll be able to hack them down with my sword, hopefully, and not die. Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I don't really care about anyone else apart from making sure Fennel's safe.
Which part of the town do you live in? Like, which cardinal direction would you say?
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay, so you're on the side of the Marquisate forces.
Yeah.
So like, there's like a moment of like sort of calm as the aerial forces sort of like retract and regain sort of like footing with the ground forces on the Erie side. But you're now on the right hand side of the city if you're looking at it from the south. So this is a little bit closer to where the marching, thudding sort of rhythmic charge of the Marquis is coming forward, and you can see sort of like quite like held high and sort of like leading his forces. He sort of stood on this sort of like rocky outcropping, which is giving him a view. You've heard of him before. It's General Calder.
Yeah.
He is a ruthless military leader.
He was the one behind the attack of Fennel's previous home.
Yes.
So
exactly
Fennel knows who
he is. An incredibly renowned general because he's got his head strapped on. He knows exactly how to take down even the quickest and hardest of foes. But in the sort of confusion, he sees the tower not giving him any support. In fact, firing arrows at his own men, and he's like, "What the hell is going on?" So you can see him sort of like barking orders at people, shouting in the distance. And at the front, you see like these sort of like circular orange shields and blades sort of slowly marching through the streets, and a few people who are trying to hold them off being like pushed backwards.
I genuinely don't care about them. Do you want to start tinkering?
Fennel's just going. Fennel's just building.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be 1 mark of time.
Okay.
The troops are closer now. So
Right,
what's going on the other side?
I think so. I guess the challenge here is persuading the people to help.
Yeah.
So if you are willing to, if you're able to, lend me some help, and I will try and convince them. How's your charm?
Well, the thing is like I was thinking with this because you're good at actually doing the fiery stuff, right? Whereas I've got like reasonable charm.
Yes.
So it might be better if perhaps you focus on actually building the things up.
That suits me fine.
And then I go around persuading people to join and kind of. I guess you want them to start going to kind of where you are to follow you.
Just laying down thatch. I think
laying down thatch.
Laying down thatch in 2 lines. Just basically building an ongoing bonfire that we can then light.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to try and convince a few people to do that.
So you're persuading basically. You're trying to get them on side. Okay. So yeah. Who wants to take charge on it?
I think you've got more charm, right?
Yeah,
but I can lend you. I can help.
Yeah. If I roll like 2 ones. But yeah, or like. That's a 6. That's a 4. That's a 12.
Done it. Don't even need me.
Cool. So like you're quite like now that you've had all of these like armies marching in, and you are getting sort of like your internal core belief that people should be able to be free and to have like a liberation from all of these huge forces. It's firing you up, and people are responding. They're like, yes, let's do this. Let's get these people out of here. They don't deserve another life of servitude. People start grabbing bits of thatch and like constructing this strange like tunnel way that you've asked them to build. They don't really understand what they're making, but they're like, we'll do it. So you're sort of like, because the actual sort of tower is in the center, you need to sort of like fork around it on either side. So you need to choose like westerly or easterly.
We'll go with the east because I figure they might be distracted by what's going on over there.
Okay.
So it seems our best chance to go on that side as well.
Cool. So you see, like to the west, like you can see that the Erie forces are kind of like undisposed, because a lot of the people that were living here have been pulled into your project, whereas most of the forces are actually defending on the east side. So they're having a bit of an easy time marching through. You've managed to build, like in the time that it's taken them to get closer to you, you've managed to build like a significant portion of the thatch wall, but it's not long enough for your construction to be complete. So if you want to try and light it now, it might hold them back for a bit, but it means it'll be difficult to continue to construct it on that side. It would be a temporary diversion as opposed to the full construct that you wanted to make.
I think if we're going to do it, we're going to do it in full.
Okay.
I don't think we need another diversion. There's, like, assuming that the Tinkerer completes what they're working on, we should be okay. So I would keep going, but I will say that if I've kind of set the folks to work, I could maybe chip in and help distract. So I could maybe run off while the people are building this thatch, because thatch is pretty simple. So whereabouts is the tavern?
The tavern's back on the cat side.
Okay.
So you're closer to the town hall.
Okay, can I go in the town hall?
You'll have to get through some Erie forces, but
I'd like to find a building I can blow up as a distraction.
Okay, there's plenty of buildings you can blow up. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I would like to find a building of your choice.
You find like the largest house that isn't already overrun with birds.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Is it owned by like posh animals?
Probably.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
It's in Philono's house.
It's Philono's house. You find Philono's house and shop.
And I would like to, I assume that there's rich brandies and kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, so I just tip them out all over the floor. Any remaining gunpowder I have, I sprinkle around like fairy dust. And then I...
Imagine you dancing through this house.
I spark a thing off my teeth and chuck it in one of my wicker balls.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you are wrecking something.
Yes, that would be great.
So let's do one of those.
And when I wreck something with flagrantly dangerous means, such as explosives or uncontrolled flame, I can roll with luck instead of might, because I have the arsonist move.
Yay!
So
is your luck any better then?
I have +2 luck. I rolled 10 and I get +2, so it's 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a dance. You are just sort of like flame, flame, flame. You sort of like you pirouette out of the building and like you see this beautiful bonfire that you've constructed. Like a few birds were like flying over top. They get in the smoke and like plummet into the ground like fighter jets that have been like had their wings.
Smells
split.
like roast chicken.
Yeah, exactly. It smells of quite a few things actually. So as you're sort of like pulling away, you can see that a few of the soldiers are now like sort of backing up. Like, whoa, what just happened? They assume some kind of strange weapon has hit them or something, and one of the sort of like towery parts of the roof, because this is quite a big sort of manor house, collapses in front of them. And lays down this sort of like flaming barricade that they're now forced to go around. So you've bought yourself some time.
Wonderful.
We flip back to the east side of the city where you've been continuing your construction, but the Marxist forces are now right up against the makeshift barricade where the people are cowering, and they're not fighting back because they're terrified. They're whimpering behind some wood.
Before you go, just on that, so folks know. So my nature is also arsonist, as well as one of my moves. So when I can clear my exhaustion track when I destroy or grievously damage an important structure. So I'm back to
good.
Wow.
Ready to help.
Yes, ready to help. That's me.
Fennel looks down from their workshop.
Don't say it.
With like certain and God knows what else. Like there's noises coming out there, like and stuff fleeing out the window. Yeah. And looks down and lifts up their goggles and says, "If you give me a little bit more time, I'm nearly done."
Don't worry, I got you. It's fine. Can I ask a quick question? Does realising that the birds are also getting weapons count as uncovering an important or damaging falsehood?
What, on top of the...
On top of the one that I already took?
Yeah, sure, why
Okay, thank you. Awesome. Okay, I would like to poison all my arrows.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark another depletion for that. This poison is death.
Oh, it's death poison.
It is death poison,
Yeah.
yes. And I'd like to keep an eye on the cats coming towards me. I'm afraid I'm not particularly... My priority is Fennel, not the NPCs.
They are getting overrun, which means that they will be at the door very soon if they're taken over.
If they get too close to the door... Actually, I'd like to hear up to you. Is there like another way out of this workshop, or is it just down this bit here?
Fennel looks down, lifts up their goggles, and winks. And then gets their goggles
cool.
Again.
Right. In that case, I would just like to... I'm going to attack any cats that come too near to the door.
Okay.
Because I see... Is it a door that's like a tunnel that winds up through the tree?
So the opening is pretty much just like an open hole, like a doorway.
Yeah, not very defensible.
But there is like a little secret hatch that Fennel put in out the other side.
Above ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that they can like...
There's a back door that people don't really know about. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
So like in front of you there's like a small sort of courtyard with a few sort of houses and buildings.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side, imagine like a Les Miserables sort of like wooden barricade made out of like carts and stuff, and there's like cowering people on there. Cats are like climbing up and like shoving their swords down to try and stab.
Do they have to climb up a staircase to get to your workshop at the top?
They had to go up the tree. So like they'd have to climb because like
they have to climb
Fennel
up the tree.
just like climbed up there, but there's no.
So I'm not
stairs.
in your workshop. There's no stairs. I'm just at the bottom of the tree.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I did not realise that. Great. Okay.
You can see cats sort of like poking their heads up over the barricade and like swinging down. There's a few like other animals who have been like brought into the army as well. You can see sort of like beavers and badgers and all kinds of woodland creatures.
I would like to attempt a roguish feat. I would like to try and hide so that I can hopefully get the advantage on any cat who tries to attack. I'll make the way up the tree. Do I have to roll for that?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So you are going to be rolling with finesse.
Okay.
Can I quickly retcon something?
Yeah.
One of my traits, or my nature, is radical. So when I espouse a dangerous idea to the wrong audience, I get to clear my exhaustion. Can we say when I was trying to get people to like rally up and everything that was me doing that?
You want to clear your exhaustion?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks.
Okay. That's a 6 to hide.
Is anyone helping? By which I mean, are you helping?
Is anyone helping?
Can I keep what? Is this
I
going
will
to
still
disrupt?
let you mark off a unit of time.
It will still mark off a unit at a time, even if I help.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so Fennel...
Maybe you're just making particularly loud noises in the workshop, which is sort of catching their attention.
Yeah, like Fennel's flinging stuff out the window.
There's like a wrench that smacks on
flinging stuff they don't need. Like just flinging stuff. He's like, like, yeah, chucking stuff out the window.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
To maybe that distracts them.
So that's a partial success.
Okay.
So you're like, there's nowhere to hide here at the base of the tree. I'm gonna have to climb up into the branches. So you sort of like you climb yourself up, and you're a large character, so like it's difficult to get there, and you're sort of like perched on a bit of a slightly loose branch. You're like, this isn't very sure footing, but they won't know I'm here.
Okay, cool. I'd like to ready a poisoned arrow.
Okay.
Can I also dip my sword in the poison too?
For another depletion.
Okay, fair enough.
So, the cats have scaled the barricade. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
nothing was helping them. There were a few cues that might have said maybe you could make them fight, but apparently not.
Whoa.
So like you see them start to pour over now. There's like people just sort of like jumping down. They're like holding their shields up, waiting for arrow fire, and they're like, "There's nothing here." And then a few of them sort of like form up into a regiment. They're very like the cats are incredibly like concise, and they like to be in like tight formations. So they form almost like a testudo of shields, and they're sort of like marching very slowly forward with their eyes looking around.
Okay.
And they're getting closer to where they heard the noises.
Does it look like they're actually coming towards the watchtower, like they're singling it out?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
We've passed off another unit of time. Okay.
How many more do you need?
Are we gonna say that? Are we gonna stay here? Or are we gonna flip over to these two?
Let's flip over for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So so we come back to the burning wreckage, and you've flung yourself back into the sort of trench where people have been building, and they've gotten far now. So they've started to crest around the actual tower itself. Now it just needs to go all the way out of town up to the north.
Right.
But you can see far up in the north, the two armies have started to clash. So this is like it's becoming a little bit difficult to actually build here because you're forwarding yourself into the middle of this battle. You can see like cats being picked up by birds and flung across the town. There's like all kinds of like swords clashing and shields bashing, and it's a full-on conflict. Above you in the tower, like a few of the birds have tried to start scaling the walls. You see molten lead being poured down.
Jesus.
That is harsh.
Ouch.
Where is the tower in relation to? We had to snake past the tower, right?
You've snaked around it on the east.
So we're
side.
beyond the tower.
You're sort of like you're still close to it. You've literally just finished like lining yourself back up with the original.
So, say for
path.
instance,
Yeah.
if I were to lay explosives along one side of the tower to try and strategically topple it to help with the barrier, would
They
that
would
be
need to
feasible?
be some incredibly strong explosives, which it would probably be difficult to carry on your person, considering the technology level of this setting.
There's probably other
However,
barriers.
they might have their own things inside that might help with the explosion.
That's what I wondered.
I would hazard a guess that you would need to trust fate if you were to
Trust
attempt
fate.
this.
I mean, I'm up for that. And then
You like luck anyway, so you're fine.
That's good. Like
all right, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna trust fate and hope that there are.
So explain to me what you're doing first. So
I would like to because. So is the door to the tower open at this point because people have been
no, it's still locked
Okay.
tight. People are trying to scale it,
right?
but they are staying inside. They're trying to weather the storm.
Right. So trust fate to get through trouble. I would like to get into the tower somehow, which I think at this point is relatively easy for me. I will have some ability to blow out this door.
So you're going to
That's
try and
small
blow the
explosives.
door down.
But the trusting fate is that there are explosives within the tower that I can then use to topple the tower over.
Okay, we're going to do two separate rolls then.
Okay.
So we're going to have a rec roll to try and get through the door.
Okay, so I can roll with luck because it's arsonist, because it's flagrantly dangerous, because I need to blow out the hinges.
You stand like a step too close than you should do.
Oh, always, yeah. It's the thrill.
Yeah.
How you're
it's
alive
it's
is
the
a
only thing that keeps you
miracle,
alive
really.
anymore.
I'm a beaver.
Oh!
That's a double one.
Okay, so here's what happens.
Uh-oh.
You lay down like medieval C4 at the base of the doorway, and it blows and it shakes the tower and like it dents the metal and breaks the wood, but the actual portcullis, like the grid work of the iron, is still keeping strong. Like it's fox and steel. Even though I just said iron. And like one of the sort of like barrels of molten lead sort of starts to topple over and starts pouring in front of you and has blocked off the path from where you were building. Now there is like hot molten metal in front of you and it's making it impossible to pass.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Any ideas? You're also here. I just seem to make trouble.
So where am I, like, in relation to the tower? Because I'm sort of helping people build.
If you're helping
thatch.
people build, they like so essentially like imagine this is the town and this is east and this is west because it's from my perspective. We're going up. We went around the tower and now we're here. You guys have just had like a pile of molten lead block you off, and you're stuck here at the like as far as you've built the tunnel basically.
Okay. Are there any other like armies fighting very near us?
They're close, but the burning wreckage on one side has sort of blocked them off, which has meant they've had to push most of their strength to the north, which means that the Eyrie, because they technically have more forces, are sort of pushing the cats back to the east. This is all happening like a street away from you. Like you can see down the line where it's almost kicking off.
So the Eries and the cats are already fighting amongst each other anyway. Could I try to get into the tower?
How are you attempting to do it?
Well, I've got a a thing called Pleasant Facade where I suck up to or butter up an unsuspecting NPC. So
okay.
But I don't know, because it's like, what do we do about the molten lead? Like, I'm sort of a bit. This isn't really my sort of remit. I'm here to kind of butter people up, and get them riled up.
Well, I'm sure we could do more if we had explosives.
That's your
start
position
with
on
that.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
it's
your
better with
answer.
explosives.
That's your answer to everything, Teeth. And while I agree that explosives would be useful, what would we do with them?
Well, we'd blow things up. I think
I can try and get us some more explosives, but I need to know that it's going to do something that helps us, not hinder us.
so. If the lead is running one way, could we topple the tower the other way to kind of create
A bridge.
a bridge isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
But basically to block us off somehow, without getting too into like the geography of where this fire thatch is running.
You tried to open the gate and it failed, and you were kind of banking on the fact that there was something explosive inside the tower that you could reach.
Right.
So like blowing the tower up is kind of spent now,
True.
because you've kind of exhausted your explosive options from all the ones that you've been using so far.
Maybe we could encourage everyone to start building a bridge over the lead
Yeah.
as we just get through. So because there's loads of rubble around, and then once we have the bridge, we can actually carry on with the thatch kind of labyrinth and keep it going.
Okay, can you persuade them to, against their better judgment, try and deal with molten lead?
Yeah, I'll try. So basically just try and like say to people like, bring the rubble, keep yourself safe, but like we need
just
to keep,
it's fine, don't worry.
we need to keep
like,
going.
Yeah.
This is an accident.
Yeah.
Don't look at the tower. Don't look at the tower. That's a 3. That's a 4. So that is 8. So I count on my fingers. That's an 8. That's a 10 in total.
Okay, beautiful. So they're shaken, but they're like, we're in this now. It's this or nothing. They start grabbing bits of rock and anything that won't catch fire and chucking it on top. And although it's like a rocky sort of like moving liquid underneath of this platform, you can almost safely get across. So they're using that to just like, there's going to be a gap in the wall of flames, but it's the best we can do right now. And at least you're able to start like digging out the ditch that you were carrying on with. So we snap back to the east side of town, where the cats are starting to surround the tree.
Okay.
Okay. How much more time do you need?
Are you like shouting up?
No, I'm not shouting anything because they'll be able to hear me. But
Okay.
like out of game, like I guess you can't really tell me out of game. Okay, if they get close to the bottom of the tree, I would like to harry them with my longbow.
Okay.
Which is a special move that I have.
You do not have the harry.
Oh, is it? I have to
You've
have
only
it.
got disarm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Even though it says special move under the longbow is harry.
Yeah. So your character needs to be able to do it, and your weapon.
Oh,
needs to be able to
okay,
do it.
right. In that case, I would like to. Does it look like they're actually trying to climb it? Like, not just thinking about it, they're actually trying to.
They're encircling, and then
Okay.
eventually someone will try and go inside.
Okay. I would like to. How much further is it to climb to get to the workshop? How much higher do I have to climb?
You're basically like in the branches is kind of like the crest of the tree. So
Okay.
like, you're not far from each other.
I'd like to try and climb to get into the workshop.
Okay, that's fine. I
Because
won't
I
make you
remember
roll for
you
that.
have like a trapdoor thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like, they're here and they're really close. So if you could speed this up, that would be great.
So I've had 2 lots of time.
You will need more time to fully complete this weird weapon that you're making.
Okay.
So that would need more distraction tactics from your friend, but you are surrounded by forces, so it's time to make a decision. Do you go with what you've got, or do you try and put the finishing touches on this thing to really make it work?
So you're saying what I've got now is not going to work?
You've got like 2/3. It will work, but it's a shoddy construction rather than what you were trying to assemble.
Can Fennel look out the window and see what the situation is?
You pop your little weasel head out, and you're like, oh dear. There are like cats all around, and like you can tell that they're being cautious, but eventually they're about to start stepping foot inside the tree.
Okay.
Right. Keep doing it. It's fine. I'm going to get out my longbow and I'm going to fire at the closest cat.
Okay, so you are going to target someone?
Yes, I'm going to target someone.
So when you target a vulnerable foe at far range, roll with finesse.
Okay.
On a hit, you inflict injury. So on a 10+, you can strike again before they get to cover.
Okay.
But you keep your position hidden instead if you want to just do one bit of damage.
Okay.
So basically, like if you get 10, you can either keep yourself hidden or hit again.
Okay, that's a 7.
Okay, so you are gonna inflict some pain. So
Okay.
like you see one of the cats step forward, you fire an arrow, it looses straight into his foot.
Okay.
And pins him down onto the ground. And
This is a poison arrow as well.
Yes.
It's poison with death.
Yeah, he's like, ow, death poison.
Across the other side of town, I'm just like, someone's blowing my horn.
You see like a sort of gasp when like they put their shields up, so they're ready for arrow fire. And you see one of the cats who's like, he's not wielding a weapon, he's holding a banner. He plants the banner in the ground and starts making a waving sound with his hand.
Damn it.
And a few cats like sort of poke their heads out, and with these big hatchets start like running towards the base of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would like to communicate all this to Fennel.
Can I gauge the situation? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is actually going to help me, because essentially I just want to get an idea of whether I'm going to have enough time to complete this before they...
So you want to read a tense situation?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to roll with cunning.
Okay, that is a 9.
Okay, so you can ask me one question from the list underneath read a tense situation.
This one. There you go.
Thank you. None of these questions are going to help me. I'm guessing I have to ask one of these questions. I can't just...
As far as I'm aware from the rules, yeah.
Okay, what's my best way out?
If you could convince the cats to start like by where you are, right? So they're going to try and avoid you, right? If you're firing arrows,
Yeah.
if you could sort of filter them in to cut the tree at a certain angle,
Okay.
it might fall away from them. And it depends on how delicate this thing you're making is, but you might be able to use that to sort of jump out a tree window onto the roof of another building.
I'll just borrow this.
Because
Okay.
if you go out the front or the back entrance, you're surrounded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we basically want to try and make the tree fall onto another building so we can escape through that.
Right. So, and this is going to happen now.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Fennel's
what
going to have
if-
to just, like, not too happy about it, but, like, there's not much choice. They're going to have to get their invention together, whatever they've made, and they're going to, judging, like, your...
Yeah, can we drop some kind of like, do you have a quick, can you jerry-rig a quick explosive or something that we could drop on one side of the tree to make them then cut the other side of the tree, which would make the tree fall onto something which we can then jump out onto and GTFO.
So are they actually coming on to cut the tree down with the hatchets?
They've got hatchets.
Okay,
So to make them cut the side of the tree we want them to cut, we can maybe use that as a way to get out.
So Fennel's got like a big bag of like nails. And realizing what you're saying, they go to the window that they're like, we want them to not cut, and like tips this enormous bag of nails like out the window down below, basically blocking off that part of the tree.
I'd also like to fire at any cats which are near the nails, so hopefully they'll start to move back from that area.
Okay, so like, tell you what, let's roll this into one action. Who wants to
Okay.
take the lead on it? But you're going to target. So
target.
you're going to be rolling with finesse.
What's your finesse? 1, mine is 1, 2. If I finesse, could you help me?
Yeah,
Yeah? Okay.
I can help you.
I'll do
So
it
I'm
then.
going to put an exhaustion.
We'll see what the roll is first.
That's a 9. Oh, no,
so
that's a
it's
10.
Okay, no,
You need
fine,
to
don't
help
worry about
me.
these.
Okay.
So you start firing at the cats of the hatches, and they start sort of dodging out of the way. They're like, oh crap! One of them gets stuck into the shoulder and is like pulled back into the shield wall to be looked after.
He's going to die.
He's getting
Death poison.
Death poison. It's tricky stuff.
It's very good stuff.
And basically, as this distraction is caused, you see the opportunity to start pouring all of these nails out. Some of them sort of like land into the skin of some of the cats, and they're like screaming out, and they're like, "Ow, what the hell!" Like pulling back. The hatchet wielders are sort of like pouring around to the other side of the tree.
Okay.
And you've made this sort of like zone of like caltrops almost.
Yeah.
It's like, and you walk over it. They're only wearing like leather shoes. They will go straight into their feet. So they're like, we have to avoid this now.
Yeah.
But you hear the
Okay.
flooding of
I'm
hatchets.
imagining this is like that scene from the Mines of Moria when we're going to try and ride the tree down.
Exactly.
To hit
Yeah,
exactly.
So Fennel gathers
Flying
up.
fools.
Fennel gathers up their invention, what they've managed to make, looks at you and goes,
Yeah, let's do this.
and
Okay.
they like,
I'm going to run to the side of the tree that we want to fall, and
Yeah.
I'm going to start, like, I don't know, piling heavy things onto that side so it hopefully falls in the direction we want
Yeah.
it to go. So no offence, but I'm putting your workshop apart, like putting
Yeah.
the heaviest things here.
This thing's not going to be in a great state after the invasion.
No.
So,
like, Fennel's just like clasping onto their invention, making sure that it will survive the journey.
okay, you are both going to be trusting fate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now. So, can you both independently make me a luck roll, please?
Oh no. What did you get?
I got a 8.
I got 4.
Okay. So you sort of like you climb up, like wielding the invention under your arm. You sort of like you climb up, being helped by Hornhusk onto the top of
Well
the tree,
done.
and the tree starts to collapse, and you can see the cats starting to cheer down, like yeah, bring it down, bring it down. They don't even know what this thing is. They're just like wanton destruction everywhere.
Of course.
And you see like the tree start to like bend over and it creaks, and it's just quite a sad moment for you. This has been your family home for a little while now after you were pushed out of the other town. And just as the tree's collapsing, your like hoof gets
Yeah,
foot hoof.
I guess.
Your hoof gets trapped on a twig.
No.
And you're stuck, and
Okay.
like you're reaching out to like try and grab onto Fennel, but them not realizing they move up to the top of the tree, and just as they look back, it starts collapsing. And as the tree crashes into the roof, you manage to jump off, and like you hurt yourself, but you're fine. And mainly the invention is okay.
Yeah.
Whereas you've really hurt your arm.
Okay.
You've landed straight on your elbow, and it's really wrenched your shoulder.
Is that an injury?
That's an injury, yeah.
So what happens when all the injuries get full up?
When all the injuries get full up, you're like incapacitated from
Okay.
being too
Cool.
damaged. I'm going to say that's 2 out of 4 because that was quite a serious one.
Okay. Right.
So you are now like you can see the cat starting to sort of like try and clamber up the tree trunk to try and like make it as an artificial bridge up to where you are. You're wielding this contraption.
Yeah.
What have you made?
I don't know if trebuchet is the right word.
Catapult?
Is it's like a mechanical catapult. Like you can sort of set and let go, and you don't have to like keep reloading it. It like reloads itself.
Like a repeating crossbow.
Yeah, or like a rubber band gun.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, like it's not like you need to stand there like put it on fire. It like automatically like flings
Like a
things.
ballista.
Yeah. So you like load it up with however much stuff you want, and it like one by one like flings the stuff.
Okay, what would you like to do with it?
I want to like set it up in a good position so it can like fling things towards the like where we want to push people like the forces towards, so then people will be able to like clear out the other direction.
Okay, so where are you targeting then?
I guess the main force of the army.
Do you want to get where they're clashing?
I don't want to put it there. I want to like get it to fire there.
So they're running towards the bit where it's most dangerous.
No, they're like whatever location they can place it so that it will fire into the forces of the army. That's where they want to run to.
It will force them to go to where the fire is coming from. Is that what you mean? Sorry, I'm confused.
You just mean you're firing into the main bulk of the army.
Yeah, I just want the army to be forced away from the area where people are.
So where they are clashing.
Right, sorry. I thought you were saying you wanted to force them to where it was firing.
No,
I don't understand
the
how
opposite.
that works. Okay, cool.
Catnip.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, which part do you want where it's clashing? Do you want where like the force of cats are mainly coming from? Where are you targeting? Because you're going to have to leave this thing firing and leg it.
I guess I'm firing at the closest force to this fire, like, escape path.
Yeah, so right in. So as I said, the path has gone up and around the tower. It's now starting to push more northerly.
Yeah.
But the main bulk of the two forces has clashed right in the front.
So I need to clear that to get people. Okay,
sorry.
I'm gonna have it fire into that.
Okay, that's what I thought you were doing. But I
Yeah,
just wanted to be
sorry,
sure.
I wasn't.
Right, so you set up this. Where is it being set up? Because is it going to be protected from the cats if you run off?
I want to put it somewhat away from, like, the clash, like the nearest clash, but like prioritizing that it's going to hit where I want it to.
Okay, I'm going to say that, like, you plant this thing down, and you definitely manage to get like a decent few shots up through the sky and like landing into the clash of shields, and they're starting to back away from each other. They don't know who's firing the artillery. They're like, which side is this from? But if you are to try and run away from the cat force, which is about to be right on your heels, considering you're already injured as well, which means you've got like you won't be able to use a bow with one bad arm.
Yeah.
That thing is eventually going to be disarmed. So there's only a certain amount of time that
That's
it'll last.
fine. I think now Fennel is just prioritizing, hoping that these guys have like set up a good enough path so that people are going to be able to run through, and just like placing it and then running to get Hornhusk and hoof it out.
I think I can still walk, can't I? My arm is just
It's your arm.
up.
Yeah. You're basically like hobbling around.
So like,
okay,
however much time they can get out of this, like they're just putting it there. And
so you pull the lever, Kronk, and like the flaming projectiles or whatever it is that's coming out of this start arcing towards the main sort of force. And as I said, they're pulling away from each other, like creating this sort of no man's land in the middle.
Yeah.
There is like a sort of a moment of piece where you can try and get away from the force. We're still climbing up this tree, like it's a bit of a perilous climb for them. But eventually they get onto the rooftop. By this point, you're presumably sprinting across the roofs.
I'm trying to find teeth now because we are even. We are done now.
You're going. Okay. I don't need to come back to you.
Follow the fire.
No.
Okay,
I'm just running like.
Cool.
So
as this is happening, you're desperately trying to find out like which part, because they haven't set it afire yet, so you don't know where they are.
No.
You can hazard a guess that like the main force, because you said let's go north, the main force is going to be an obstacle for them, so that's why you set fire to them.
When this stuff starts landing,
yes,
because like we knew the plan, I would like to now. It seems like it's do or die. We're not going to have a chance to actually just build the thing through. So I would like to set the thing ablaze so that they can find where we are.
Okay.
And to do so, I'd like to retcon all the times I used flint on my teeth earlier, and every time I spark, if with your permission, I'd like Hornhusker to have had a metal cap, which I carry as.
Oh no, my broken tusk
right?
is covered in metal, so I assume that like I probably popped up and just given it to you at the end at some point to be like, just take the goddamn thing.
So
I'm gonna have to use my tusk all the time.
Spark that off my teeth.
Yeah.
And use it to light as a good luck kind of. We'll be reunited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like a signal fire. It blazes on both sides, and like a path of fire starts forming down into the southern sort of point where you started. And you can see that, like, luckily, just as the bird forces were starting to reach the tunnel, they're cast back at this huge flaming wall. The whole town is in like a wreck right now. It's like there's nothing really salvageable right here, apart from whatever's in that tower. But obviously, you didn't get a chance to peep inside. So with the combination of like the debris falling down on the forces, then backing up, and the huge fire, a lot of the sort of like front lines of both forces are trying to like retain themselves and be like, we need to stop for a sec because we don't really know what's happening right now. You can see them like regrouping and forming up into their shield walls and like clearing a sort of path in between them. It's a quite visible path, which means that if you were to sprint through, you have no idea what they're going to react to you with. But
I think we don't have a choice at this point.
Yeah.
No, can we create fire in that path, furthering the passageway?
I
think
really
don't
think
have
we should
time.
just get the hell
Yeah,
out
I
of
think
here.
we just trust fate. And
Oh, great. That worked out for me so well last time. Let's do it again.
so you're like
I think
looking around at people like it's time to make a run for
Yeah.
it. Just as this is happening, you realise that Filono is not in the group. And you look around and it looks like he darted off somewhere, and you're like, there's no time to think about it now. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Over on the eastern side of the town, you're starting to like really feel this ache in your shoulder, and it's like every time you thud your steps as you're running, it's like ow, like on the internal. You need to catch a breath.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what's going to happen here. Fennel is just behind you, like you catch up. And eventually you're just like, you're seeing this swathe of cats coming towards you. You're like, is this it? Is this the end? And out of the corner of your eye, and you hear this, and Filono is like flying overhead and drops this like, what looks like not a huge amount of like rubbly rock, but the amount of like height that he's given it, as it sort of peels towards this like front line of cats, it gets faster and heavier and more much
Terminal
much more
velocity.
force. And yeah, with the terminal velocity, it crashes into the roof that the cats are standing on. You see them collapse into the thatch building.
Amazing.
You swear you catch a wink from him as it flies by, and he sort of like he starts sort of flapping above you and gives you the signal to follow him.
Okay.
He's going to lead you back to the rest of the group.
Cool.
Yeah.
But by the time you get there, they probably would have already run, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. My priority right now is getting the hell out of here. So if there's fire, I'm going to assume Teef is in front of the fire because he's the one setting it. So I'm just going to follow the path.
Okay.
Because it will lead me to Teef, hopefully.
So, it's time to trust fate.
It's time.
It's the main event of the evening.
Yeah, so we're rolling with luck. So I would guess we need to do for our character and the group, maybe? Or do we just test luck in general?
I'm going to say both of you roll. I will do a roll for the group.
Okay.
So just to make sure we're all clear. So on a hit, you seriously break it. Oh, that's rake it, something. No, never mind. When you trust fate, you go through trouble. Roll with luck. On a hit, you scrape by or barrel through. The GM will tell you what it costs you. But on a 10+, fortune favours the bold. Your panache also earns you a fleeting opportunity.
Beautiful.
So let's start with you, Mr.
I look
Luck.
forward to this double one. I rolled 7 plus 2. That was a 7. Plus 2, which is a 9. Unless you'd be willing to give me a +1 somehow.
You're
and help
both
me.
attempting this, so it'd be difficult to help each other.
okay.
So that you're going to lose something. But
Okay.
yeah, you made it
So
through.
close.
All right.
Let's see what happens to Moonshine.
That is a 12.
A 12.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So,
It's all about the medal dice.
you two sort of, you're both like the most confident out of this group. You're like, we'll lead the way. You sprint forward, and you see like a few like arcs of debris from the weapon that was set up, like the last few. You're like dodging around them. One of them like causes you to like land on your ass almost, and like you're sort of like in the middle of no man's land with two armies either side of you. People are like firing arrows over. A stray one sort of like catches you almost in the side, but you just dodge out of the way. It rips your coat with all of your Molotovs in.
Oh, no.
And as you're getting up, it rips off of your sleeves, and you're like, "My babies!" But there's no time. You sprint away as fast as you can. Luckily, you managed to get past without any kind of like debris or arrows or anything hitting you. And with the sort of with the like crash of more arrows into this coat from what they assume is some kind of weird figure in the middle, you see like a burst of flame come up from the Molotovs, like one of them got hit with a stray spark. And with that moment of distraction, you have a little opportunity to try and do something.
Okay, could I either like grab the Molotovs or try to like do something to help villagers that are like trying to run across?
The Molotovs are definitely on fire.
Molotovs
but
are all on fire. Well, that makes sense.
It's a small like bundle of fire, so it's very easy to go around, but they're not going to be able to be grabbed.
Are there any like villagers or anything I can see that I can?
They're
pull
coming
on?
behind you now.
They're coming behind me. Okay, what I'm gonna do is get my moonshine, quickly like trace it on either side of us, sort of like containing the villagers, and then just basically like set it on fire.
Cool.
So that we have like a little wall of flame that's protecting
you
us.
grab a bit of cloth from the burning coat and chuck it at the moonshine.
Yeah. Basically using the Molotovs to set it on fire.
So I'm going to say that you're... Do you know what? That's both sides. So I'm going to give you a +2 to the roll for the innocent civilians. So they're also going to trust fate. So normally they'd just be rolling because they don't have any stats, but they're going to get a +2.
But now they have moonshine fire.
Oh, that's not a good face.
They all dead.
Oh, man.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's a 2 and a 1.
Oh.
Okay, so like...
They are very crispy.
They are very crispy.
Civilians like...
Deep fried civilians.
burst forward, and like just as like the flames lick up, like unfortunately they don't hold for long enough, and like the armies start marching forward using this opportunity. There are a few that are lost to the clash. You don't know what happened to them, but like probably about half of them manage to sprint out with you. They're looking around like some of them are distraught. But as this is happening, you sort of converge paths with the other two who have been like shown a few sort of like shortcuts through town by Philono, and you sort of converge at the most northerly point. Looking back, the whole town is just in ruins. There is like shouting and fighting and clashing steel from everywhere. There's a moment where like your stomach just drops, like what happened here? And as you're charging forwards, you start to form this sort of caravan out into the woodland, into the thick bush, to try and gauge some kind of plan of like, what do we do with all of these civilians? Where are they going to live? What is going to happen to them? And you're about sort of maybe like an hour into the forest, where like you're quite high guard. The flames of the city are behind you, of the town, sorry, and you hear like a twig snap. Everyone just stops. There's like a moment of silence, and you hear the pull of a bowstring.
Oh, god damn it.
Multiple soldiers wearing strange uniforms walk out of the tree line, and as they see you all, like the fear in all of your eyes, they loose their string tautness, and they just push their bows down to their sides, and they're like, "You all from Hollow Keep?"
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Yes, we are, Teef. Yes, we are.
Recently.
We saw the fires.
Yeah, good. Good, weren't they?
I like pushed Teef behind. I'm like, yep, there was fire.
The birds and the cats came in at the same time.
It's all destroyed.
We're the only survivors.
You better come with us. As he sort of like straightens up his back and puts his bow down, like a bit of cloth sort of reveals the green emblem on his chest, which you recognise as soldiers of the Woodland Alliance. The rebellion force trying
Thank
to
God.
free this forest from the tyranny of the cats and birds that have held it for so long. They give you safe passage
Amazing.
on your journey, and you finally make it out of Hollowkeep. And that is the story of how you destroyed an entire town.
Thank you, Wheels.
That's all right. Thanks very much for playing. It went a little bit darker than I expected, but that's what happened as a result of your actions. Thank you very much for watching. This has been our playthrough of the ROOT RPG. If you like the sort of setting that we use, then of course the board game is available right now. It's very, very good. It's probably one of the most popular board games of all time, I would hazard, of the modern era.
One of the best.
One of the best, absolutely.
Yeah.
It features some fantastic art by Carl Ferrin, which you'll also see in this RPG as well. And of course, this RPG I think will be available soon as well as part of.
I think it's out this summer. I think they've pushed it back for various reasons at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think the plan is it's out June, July time. I might be just pulling that out of the air. I believe it's out this summer.
Lovely stuff. But if you want to get started right now, the Quick Start is available for free online. You can grab it from the Kickstarter page or on other sites on the internet, so you can give this a go. We have been using the classes Scoundrel.
That's me.
Tinker.
Come on, you can do it.
I can do it. I know your name.
You know my name, even though you're looking for it right now. I'm a ranger.
A ranger,
Yeah.
and of course
A vagrant.
and a vagrant. So if you want to play as these characters or some similar variants, but there's obviously a couple of extra classes that you can pick from as well, and I'm sure there'll be more in the full release of the Root Tabletop RPG. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed any of this, and we have plenty of videos here on Dicebreaker.com and the YouTube channel that you're on right now, please hit subscribe so that you always get notified. You can also click on that bell below the video. But if you want to see some fantastic editorial articles from the editorial team that we've got here, not including Zoe, then you can head on over to the website for some fantastic guides, reviews, and all sorts of things. But of course, keep it on youtube.com/Dicebreaker for all of the best board game video content. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.